All right, we're going to head back out for another live shot at the Fayetteville Square, this one with our Crystal Martinez. You might remember a little bit earlier in the show, she was on camera when people started running behind her. So, Crystal, have you found out what was going on when that happened?
Chelsea, I texted Murphy here and just kind of asked him, Sergeant Murphy, do you happen to know what went on, what caused that? And he's not quite sure either. So we're still trying to figure out what it was. But let me tell you, right after that, people went back to just marching around the square and, chanting and doing so as they were before. So just kind of seemed like a small commotion, and we're not so quite sure what started it. It happened a second time not too long after we got off camera. Again, it's almost like it just happens for a couple minutes and then things go back. But as you can see behind me, there are still hundreds of people here right now just taking to the square. And so far it's kind of just, that's been the only commotion I can really comment on. Other than that, things have been very peaceful. So with that, I'm going to send it back to you.
Well, Crystal, if we still have you, I do have a quick question for you. I'm just wondering, because I know that when we were looking at the protests in Bentonville last night, lots of tear gas was deployed. Are we seeing anything like that happening at tonight's protest? Are we seeing any damage to any buildings or anything? What are you seeing?
No, Chelsea, I'm not seeing any of that. To be honest with you, I'm seeing people walking around the square just chanting and marching, and there's a crowd right here on the side. And, everything seems to be very peaceful. We're right by the police. We feel safe. We wouldn't be right here if we didn't, but nothing of that sort. Everything has seemed to be peaceful thus far. Again, just that one commotion. But I have to give it to the organizers, to be honest with you. I feel like they gave a very moving speech before this all started. It started around like 6:37, and I do want to let you know that they just stressed that they want to keep this peaceful. They do not want violence. They do not want a riot. They do not support that. And they also stress the importance of unity between them and the police here. So, like I said, so far, I can't really say that it's been anything but peaceful other than that small commotion. But again, we don't know what caused that.
Yeah. Crystal, earlier in the day, police had told us they were hoping to have this protest over by 8 p.m. I just kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier with Andrew when we had him live, but obviously it's almost 9:45 at this point. It's still going on. Are police telling people to leave? What are they doing to try and really limit the crowd size there?
Not that I've heard. There is just a crowd right here on the side still. The organizers did want this to end, like you said, around 8:30 or so is when they kind of started telling people, hey, you can march around a couple times, but start marching to your cars. So I can't really tell you if I see an end here anytime soon, but again, for the most part, everyone is still here. There's a couple people it looks like might be walking out. We're kind of just keeping an eye on the crowd here, but they're starting just to do a couple chants. Yeah, no, there's just a few people that are choosing to leave, but for the most part, everyone is still here.
All right, Crystal, reporting live for us from the Fayetteville Square. We appreciate your hard work out there for us tonight.